Okay, hello students, good morning. Here Sonu sir with subject SST, chapter number 1 of history, and the name of chapter is the modern period in Indian history. So as the topic is there, we have to discuss for a minute for that. We have already learned that topics in our WhatsApp group about outline of the time frame. We have already done homework about importance of dates in history, periodization, and we have already discussed about the modern period in Indian history up to the formation of Indian National Congress, which was formed in 1885. So this we have already discussed. So today I am going to move our course, and in that we have topic developments in the world. At that time, when in our India, the time of modern period, what was the condition of the outside world except India? This is our today's topic. So students, as we see in the developments of the world history, so first is there Renaissance. First is there Renaissance. You have to consider the spelling of there. RENAISSANCE. Renaissance. What is Renaissance? The Renaissance took place in Europe from the 14th century to 17th century. It took place from 14th century to 17th century. Okay. It was believed to have started in Italy. As our historian believes that Renaissance was started in Italy. So what is Renaissance? Renaissance means improvement, something which can change the whole time and system. A new type of development which is technological, which is at the same time having fast employment. Industrialization in that series also comes to. So what is Renaissance? Renaissance, it was believed to have started in Italy. This period witnessed the revival of classical art and literature. Revival of classical art and literature. Revival of classical art and literature. So as we know, the literature of past time or classical literature of art was revival in the time of Renaissance. Some new changes has offered there. The invention of paper, printing press, and mariners' compass and telescope took place during this period. So these all inventions came out there, and by that our world started growing fast. So the invention of paper, printing press, mariners' compass and telescope. So what is mariners' compass? So in marine side, people used to go in sea and found the ways to go other countries to the world, but they have not any compass or something which can direct the directions. So the marine compass came out there, invention of it was there, and telescope. So by that people started their journey, voyages in the sea, and as you know, by that journey Vasco da Gama and Columbus went their destinations. So in Renaissance, this revival of classical art and literature has started. People turn to art, science, architecture, music, religion and literature to express themselves. As we know, in the past time, literature was not so more. The participation in writing or reading or anything, the population's participation was very less in compare of modern period. So the invention of printing press and paper and this all thing started. The interest of people in writing, in reading, in learning, education grew up. So their expressions were based on humanism. So people turned to art, science, architecture, music, religion and literature to express themselves. So music also plays a very important part. So the languages of different countries and the music of different region or religions took place there, and by that people started to know each other, the expression of them. Their expressions were based on humanism. So what is humanism? The philosophy that held humans to be of prime importance rather than any divine or supernatural force. So humanity, as we know, to know all people equally and treat them equally. So the expression of humanism started there, and people made a middle way that no one is upper, no one is lower, and by that they started their expressions with science, architecture, music, religion and literature. So these expressions were based on humanism. The movement also developed a spirit of inquiry among the people. So the movement also developed a spirit of inquiry among the people. So if we start something, if we go outside, so if we see one thing, that our curiosity increases. So that time we want to see more. So by that people eager to go, hither go and thither go, and started to know all things about all living beings and religions and cultures. So it had an impact on the beliefs and ideas of the people around the world. So all people around the world had their individual beliefs and ideas, and they expressed where they went. Okay? So these, we can say, Renaissance. The revival of art and culture, of classical art and culture, we can say Renaissance, and it has started in Italy, or we can say Western countries. Okay, so we have discussed about Renaissance. Now our next topic is Industrial Revolution. So as people started to go outside in different countries, there was a huge problem of employment, and people had to do something to survive themselves. So they started agriculture and all, but it was not fully in comfort or to made accommodation for all. So industrial revolution took place there, and it was something which had changed the living style and the life of people. Industrial revolution, if we say, industrial revolution can be defined as the process of change from an agrarian economy to an based on machine-made goods. So before the machine time, people were dependent on agriculture, people were dependent on their past incomes and all, but by that it was not easy to survive. So people changed the economy in machine-made goods. Okay? It has started in the 18th century in England and later spread to other parts of the world. So there was need of products and goods, so people started to make themselves. In different countries, machineries came out there and they started to make some products or goods to export and import in other different countries, and by that industrial revolution took out there. People gathered to do or make products somewhere, and by that industry started. Okay. So it was started in England firstly. You have to know in 18th century in 18th century in England it was started, and after that it's changed. So mass production was made easy by the invention of the steam engine and the use of coal. So there was a steam engine placed there, and by that mass production was made easy by the invention of the steam engine and the use of coal, petrol and electricity. Okay, new places were discovered through voyages carried by different explorers. So as we told in starting, different explorers like Vasco da Gama, Columbus and all started their journey and discovered new paths and ways to go in other countries. New places were discovered through voyages carried out by different explorers. Many European powers emerged during this period in order to gain control over the newly explored places and their resources. So, at that time Europe was more grown in compared to all things. If we see of Eastern countries, so they had to move in other countries to make themselves more powerful. So they started journeys to go in Eastern countries. So these factors facilitated the growth of the Industrial Revolution. So European countries were more powerful that time. They started voyages and went in Eastern countries and further countries, and there they started industries. They started goods making, and there they collected or gathered the people who were not so employed and haven't any work. So they started and joined there, and industries revolution going to start. So it was started in England. From there they moved to further countries like our India also at that time, and they came here, or they started industries to employ people. So that revolution was also very needed that time, because I said previously the main problem was of that time was of employment. The population was more and more, and employment was not so that. So it was a good thing that industrial revolution took place in 18th century and started from England. Okay, then after that there is a topic, nationalism. So firstly we see about Renaissance. It was started in European countries, some revival of classical art and literature, and then we see Industrial Revolution started in 18th century from England, which can apply some employment to laborers and other people who are not able to survive themselves. And after that, third topic is going to discuss, which is nationalism. And it is not nationalism of single or individual country, or I am saying about only India. It is just a topic about all countries' individual nationalism. That in all countries, nationalists get ripen and started to, and in that nationalism is a principle which is based on people's loyalty and love towards their country. What is nationalism? Nationalism is a principle, it is a concept or ideology which is based on people's loyalty and love towards the nation. So what we love our nation, what we need our nation, what we support our nation, these all things is nationalism. So people started to think in nationalism and their individual country, and by that they gathered some emotional power and they move forward. The American War of Independence and the French Revolution led to the emergence of the concept of nationalism. So, as we know, there was slave system in India, sorry, in America, and they fought for that. The Negroes of there, and as Abraham Lincoln was leader of them, and he prohibited the slave system in America. So, American War of Independence against England, and French Revolution against them, against their rulers, and that time in France also England were there. So they started oppose of a powerful country like England, and by that the nationalism emerged. So firstly it was in America, War of Independence, then France, French Revolution. So it is often described as the feeling of oneness and commonness among the people belonging to the same historical, cultural and political background. If the people are of same culture and political background, they feel themselves equal. So this nationalism emerged to them. The power was in rule of other country, and they thought about to get rid of that. So nationalism was some kind of movement which can collect all people to each other. So they considered themselves as a part of one nation. In India, the feeling of nationalism arose during the British rule. So as we see here, in America there was British rule. They fought against them, so nationalists emerged or aroused. Like that, France, they fought against them, and the French Revolution started, and nationalism started there. Like India, then we thought to fight against the British, the nationalism started there. Okay. There is activity. Prepare a PowerPoint presentation on the effects of the Industrial Revolution in India. So there is a homework of activity. Prepare a PowerPoint presentation on the effects of the Industrial Revolution in India. So what was the effect of Industrial Revolution in India? We have to make an activity for that. It is in your homework. Okay, study of the modern period. So we have discussed about Renaissance, Industrial Revolution, revival of classical art and culture. Industrial Revolution started, okay, in England. After that it spread all over the world, and nationalism started in American War, the French Revolution, and then India's nationalism. Now study of the modern period. The sources of study of the modern period in Indian history are relatively easier to be obtained as compared to those of the ancient period. So, as you know, history of past is not so collected till now, and it's not easy to find out that. But our modern history is very easy and clear and cut. So we can easily express that all things. So different sources related to modern history have helped historians to reconstruct British rule in India. So what was the exact phenomena of British rule in India? So we have so many sources to construct the base and story of all that time. These resources give valuable information about the social, political, economic and cultural developments in India. So these resources of history would get to know us that what was the social, economical and cultural condition of India at the time of British rule. There are two types of sources which help in studying the modern period India: primary sources and secondary sources. We have two sources to study the modern history of our country, and primary sources. The primary sources of studying the modern period in Indian history include these. What are they? Administrative records. Administrative records. First I have to erase it, that we can write more. So there are two sources to know our modern history. First is their primary sources. And secondary sources. Now, secondary sources. So in primary sources, if we see, first is their administrative records. Administrative records. So what is administrative records? So the time of our rulers at that time, as we know, British rule was there. So their administrative records means their law and orders, their paperwork, that all things are including their writings and readings, make us to know that what was the exact date of that phenomena or incident, and we can elaborate the history of that time in a chronological way. So what was there? Administrative records. What is administrative records? The British officials maintained written records of their meetings, policies, events, incidents and plans. So as I told that, the British officials maintained written records of their meetings, policies, events, incidents and plans. They built archives and museums to preserve their records. For example, the National Archives of India, New Delhi, and Indian Official Records, London. So these two things is in our course books have been given. So these archives, what is archives? Places where historical documents or records are preserved. Places where historical documents are preserved, called archives, and records are preserved. So they preserve their records in archives and museums, and then by their writings and meetings and policies, we get to know about the time of that history and the incident and phenomena of that time. Second was archaeological sources. So if we see about archaeological sources, monuments such as the Gateway of India, Victoria Terminus, Parliament House and Rashtrapati Bhavan give a detailed account of the art and architecture during the British rule. So first we have to know these all were made by British rule. So the archaeological sources also give the history of that time. In that, monuments such as Gateway of India is in Mumbai, as you know, Victoria Terminus, Parliament House, Rashtrapati Bhavan give a detailed account of the art and architecture during the British rule. So second was archaeological sources, and third was surveys. The British government periodically carried out surveys for administrative purposes. These provided information about the people, landscape and topography of the presidencies. This further helped the British to formulate laws and policies for an effective administration. So, a historian do surveys, and in that we can consider the administrative purposes, landscape and topography of the presidencies, and this further helped the British to formulate laws and policies for an effective administration. Okay, so third was surveys at that time, and then legal documents. Legal documents. Some legal documents of that time, both the civil and criminal law courts during the British rule maintained their legal documents. These documents were archived at the India Office Records in London, as we discussed in archaeological sources. These help historians to gather information about the justice system under the British rule. What was the justice system of British rule? We get to know by the legal documents of that time. Okay. And fifth, diaries and accounts of travelers. Diaries and accounts of travelers. So accounts of travelers, traders, missionaries and British civil servants who came to India in the 18th and 19th centuries are other useful sources to know the history of that time. So the people who came from other countries in the form of civil servant or officers, and diaries and accounts of traveling or travel of travelers make us to know that what was the encyclopedia of that time. And information of historians, sometimes these accounts are one-sided and biased and do not give correct information. Therefore, historians use them with caution to reconstruct Indian history. So sometimes it was not transparent or just, it was biased sometimes, so historian has to or had to collect more information to know the exact history of that time. Last, we see sixth in primary sources is there eyewitness accounts. Eyewitness accounts. So students, the eyewitness accounts provided by the freedom fighters represent the Indian perspective of the British rule. These accounts are available at the British Library in London. So, the freedom fighters of our country who were represented the Indians' perspective against the British, they wrote the exact history of that time, which was not mingled or mixed. So eyewitnesses accounts are or were also important to know our modern history in primary sources. So students, for today we discussed that in your homework this topic you have to write and elaborate in your own ideas and words. You can ask some questions and comments further, and there is need to study these all topics at the same time, having some dictionaries and books which are related to these all topics. Okay, so for today, thank you, and there is a homework given, you have to do that. In next video we will meet again. Thank you, have a nice day.